All right, so here is some rules for the newest of BUFC seasons, BUFC 2020, 2021, labeled the Quest to 1,000 games, because I think if we do it this way, we will encourage more participation and better participation from 1 through 10 on the ever-expanding Babaroos roster. So the goals will be to limit Wednesday night to just 6 humans, and there's some exceptions to that, which I will get into on the next slide. But what we found, obviously, is that having more than 6 humans kind of turns the gameplay into chaos, and the results aren't very good, even though the banter can be quite fun with more people. So when we talk about Wednesday, I will explain that a little further. We want to add a second formal night to the FIFA schedule, which I think Friday works because it worked last Friday. And this allows folks that have to go to bed earlier on weekdays to have a weekend day where we should be able to find some games. And I'll talk about a little bit how that will help some of the less experienced players try new positions and whatnot as we move forward. And then hopefully we can get to 1,000 games played this year like we did that first year and go from there. So Wednesday night, like I said, we want to try to keep to 6 players because having folks on the back line as humans, it's really difficult to play back there, and it causes all sorts of problems, and it's just not much fun. So what we're going to try to do is have anyone who intends to play go to the Discord by 3 o'clock. If you can't make it to the Discord and you know you need to chime in and let somebody know you're playing, go ahead and let somebody know that can go to the Discord and say, Tegs intends to play, but he's at work. Kanzi is, stuck at work, can't get to his phone, but, he's going to play. If there are 6 what we're calling tier 1 players that want to play that night, that would mean that anyone that doesn't have 1,000 career games wouldn't have a spot to play on Wednesday. Now that doesn't happen all that often, but it does occasionally. And there are also occasions where someone with 1,000 career games forgets to get on the roll call, and then folks that intend to play show up, and so that is one of the instances that we could go over 7 players on a Wednesday. So if someone who is not what we're considering tier 1 on games played intended to play, went on the roll call, we're one of the 6 that could play, and then one of the yahoos with 1,000 games played shows up anyway, we would still play with more than 6 that night, as if the gateway to play whenever you want would be that 1,000 career games. Now there are more than 6 players with more than 1,000 career games, so that would be the other time that we would end up with more than 6 and play on a Wednesday if all of the tier 1 players wanted to play all at once. Then we would honor that. Seniority on that Wednesday night determines which positions to play. So that is where the less experienced players would probably end up, in that, not choosing where they get to play. And we'll talk a little bit how we can fix that for Friday nights and make Friday a little bit more fun for those with less experience. So that's Wednesday night. Friday night, we're going to have no limitations on the human play. So we can go all the way up to the 10 people that intend to play this year all at the same time, complete and utter chaos all the way, not concerned necessarily about how the play is going on the field if we have that many, but it would be interesting to get there. It was kind of silly and fun to do it Friday night, even though the results were a little bit painstaking. Don't have to do the roll call for Friday, but because it's not a night we're used to all playing, it's probably best to use the roll call thread to see if we can get a few people together see what the banter looks like ahead of it. Now, here is the catch for Friday night. On Friday night, the folks with fewer than 1,000 career games will get seniority to choose their positions on the field. So if you wanted to play striker and cam and play all the way forward, this would be the night to do it. So anyone with less than 1,000 games, and then in that order. So if you've got 900 games and the next person has 500, you get to pick your position first and then play it out the night. The folks that have 1,000 games played, if the less seniority folks want to play forward, the tier 1 players would just play back line and play behind them in support of the less experienced players. And that will allow us to play and experience different positions. And it will also create opportunity for the less experienced players to score some goals and play further forward. So that is what I came up with to try to straighten out some of the balance between more the merrier and our limited seriousness that we take results on Wednesday night.